Hello, Dr. Vikki Petersen here. I want to speak to you today about a really common virus. It's called HPV, the human papilloma virus, and women are typically diagnosed with this. And it can be a little frightening when you first get diagnosed because you're told by your gynecologist that there's a risk for increased cervical cancer associated with the virus, and that is true. However, there's more good news about this than bad news. So first of all, it's very common. 80% of young women who within a very short period of time of becoming sexually active do contract this virus. As a matter of fact, between the ages of 20 and 24 at any given time in the US, 58% of the young women in that category have HPV. 90% of the time it resolves on its own within a matter of 2 to 3 years. So it is a virus, and I just wanted to kind of dispel some of the rumors and just falsities associated with HPV. I think it's really important. So one is that as a virus, it can lie dormant for a very long time. Weeks, months, even many, many years. Therefore, one of the things that's happened that we've seen is women come in who maybe have been married for 10, 20, 30 years, and all of a sudden, it seems like they have HPV, or it's discovered on their pap smear, and the gynecologist's office kind of intimates like, well, where did you get this, or where did your spouse get this? Kind of bringing up, maybe a faithful or unfaithful type of situation that can really throw women into a panic. If they know they've been faithful, then they're starting to worry about their spouse, etc. So what's missed is the fact that this virus could have been lying dormant literally for many, many years, and now it's expressed itself, which leads to the really how we treat it, which is why is it expressing itself. So when the immune system is strong, that virus will stay dormant and not express itself. So in other words, the immune system has weakened to a degree that now this virus is active. And so of course we go about it in raising the immune system so that the virus can get back under control. And as I said, in 90% of the time that happens naturally anyway. So that association with cervical cancer, realize, is an association very, very small percentage of the time, and it doesn't happen overnight. So it's not like you have to be diagnosed with HPV and suddenly worry that the next day you're going to have cervical cancer. It does not happen that quickly. There's a lot of monitoring that can go on, and of course a lot of immune boosting that can go on, and that's what we've seen as very successful. So that was number one. The other thing I want to talk to you about is that even very young women, as soon as they're diagnosed with HPV, now there's different strains. There's the high-risk strains and lower-risk strains. So if a young woman is diagnosed with some higher-risk strains, often the gynecologist wants to do a procedure called a colposcopy, which is a biopsy of the cervix, the opening to the uterus. And this is an invasive procedure. It's quite expensive, anywhere from $500 to $800, taking pieces of the cervix. There are some people who, some researchers concerned that this procedure could create some issues with future fertility, pregnancy success rate. So when you're talking about the kind of young women who are diagnosed with this, jumping into a colposcopy is something I also try to shy away from as far as my recommendations are concerned, for the very nature that you can do this naturally. You can get to the root of it. Very often it resolves on its own. Remember, 90% of the time. Last but not least, I don't know if you've seen, there were some recent commercials. They kind of come in waves. Recently they were on the air, and it's of a young girl, young boy as well. Gentlemen have definitely can have HPV as well. There's no test for them to have it. They can maybe see genital warts, and that can be an inclination that they have it, but there's no test like the pap smear for women. But anyways, a young woman, young man, probably in their early 20s, and what the commercial is saying is they both now have cancer as a result of HPV. A little bit of a stretch because they're so young, and the thing that really annoys me is they both look into the camera and say, "Mom, Dad, didn't you know about the vaccine? So there you go. So let's look at this vaccine. There's two of them, and basically there's been a worldwide campaign to get every pre-adolescent vaccinated to prevent cervical cancer. And to date, the research I looked at has stated there's not been a single death that was prevented by the vaccine. However, what has occurred is a rash of autoimmune diseases associated with this vaccine. Very debilitating, life-threatening, disabling autoimmune diseases. Very strong correlation. And this is a vaccine that just came out in 2006, so there's been, not a tremendous amount of time. I'm going to look down at my notes for a second. So Gardasil, which is one of the vaccines for HPV, there are two, has been linked to 61% of all the adverse reactions of vaccines to date. So on an annual basis, 61% is associated with Gardasil of all the vaccines that are given. So this is definitely a vaccine that has a lot of negative side effects. So that's the point I wanted to make, well, all three of those points regarding HPV, which is it's not cause for ultimate alarm. Certainly you should take heed of the diagnosis as far as finding out how to boost your immune system. That's something we can help you with here. And monitoring it to make sure you are getting it under control. But the need for a vaccine is actually scary because there's definitely more negative associated with it than any positive that has been documented. So that's my information to share with you on HPV. I hope it helps you. And I just completed writing a blog on this, so kind of goes into a lot more specifics since the videos can't be that long. But that's going to be on my site very soon, which is rootcausemedicalclinic.com. If your health is not the way you want it to be, please reach out. I would love to help you. You can give me a call at 408-733-0400. Here at Root Cause Medical Clinic, we help the world's busiest people regain, retain, and reclaim their health, their energy, and their resilience, and I'd love to help you. I'll see you soon.